Right. I think this should be working, hopefully. Let's see. Hope everyone's doing well. It's time to study and suffer. It's only suffering. Study. So excited. But yeah, this is gonna be definitely more like the chill and not talking that much. Hopefully I've got BGM and stuff working. So it's just gonna be yeet that mainly. And I'm not sure like how much mic and stuff will pick up any typing or anything. But yeah, hopefully it's alright. I don't know, I just felt bad I hadn't been streaming as much as I would like, and this is a good BGM's too loud. Okay. Hopefully that helps a bit. Turned it down a bit. But yeah. I just felt bad I hadn't been streaming as much as I would like, and since with university and everything, this is kind of a good medium, like in between compromise type thing, where I can kinda stream while still being productive. Big air quotes on productive, but you know, yeah. I'm also pretty tired because my sleep schedule is just so messed up that I only recently woke up. Because my entire like schedule, and this particularly my sleep schedule, is just like atrocious now. Completely ruined. Yeah, it is tough fitting like streaming and stuff into a schedule. I have it generally, I would say, easier than most, because I don't have like a full-time job. I'm just at university. But it does mean that it can kind of fluctuate depending on if it's a particularly busy couple of weeks, or if it's particularly light couple of weeks, then obviously how much I can stream and stuff is gonna change depending on that. But it is what it is. And hopefully the BGM's better now after I adjusted it. Yeah, I just gotta write so many essays now. And as fun as it would be to kind of talk about the essays with chat, I think that would be kind of a I don't think if this university found out they would like that much, because, you know, it is an assessment after all. Hopefully everyone else on here, who we're able to be productive as well and get some stuff done while we're here. I don't know how long this will go, because some of the stuff I have to do I know I can't do on stream because it's like watch some documentaries and stuff, and write about those and record some things, so not exactly like the most transferable, but some of it I can still do, like document analysis and that kind of thing. Thinking about doing work streams with the Pomodoro technique seems like it'd be good with keeping in touch with chat every few minutes. That's a good idea. I know I have trouble with the Pomodoro technique because, with anything with like breaks and stuff, I'm basically just I have trouble with that because I'm like, why don't I just take the break now? I mean, what's stopping me? And then I just end up not being productive. So I usually, whenever I start something, I try to finish as much as possible in one go and see like how much I can get done that way. What's up, Wild Doge? Thanks for joining. We're just having a chill chatting stream. Uh, but yeah, so that's why the Pomodoro technique and that kind of thing, in general, doesn't work too well for me. Is I'll end up taking breaks. First time here. Oh, thanks for joining. Yeah, this is I'm trying out like a study stream for the first time, so hopefully it goes all right. There's not gonna be as much interaction with chat or that kind of thing, or talking. Is the idea? It's more just some like chilling and then typing up some stuff for a bit. University websites why can't they make them good? Why can't they be easy to navigate and not like literal hell on earth? Actual suffering right here. Doing some medical recertification quizzes. Oh, nice, nice. I'm just writing some essays and like document analysis for humanities work. I mean, I can probably say what it's about. I just can't say what I'm writing it about, that kind of thing. So I'm writing on Ukraine's accession to the Treaty on Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons in 1994. So some real interesting stuff here. Very fascinating. So yeah, I'm gonna be working on that, and then still have a couple other things after this. Gotta find a way to work on your own groove. Okay, for me until I hit the flow. Should we purge all of humanity? Problem solved. That would solve just so many problems, to be fair. Is it a good idea? No, probably not. As a member of humanity, maybe not the best, but problems could be solved. Humans are useless without problems. We need those. Touche. I hadn't thought of it that way, but that is fair. They are kind of what motivates us. So I suppose it makes sense. But we are also working to solve all of our problems generally. So what happens when we solve all of those? That's the question, I suppose. Like with AI, with advancing technology and all that stuff, eventually, theoretically, we reach a point where we solve all the problems. And then what happens then? We make more problems, true. I mean, I guess it's pretty difficult to solve the problems of humans just fighting amongst themselves. So, I mean, that'll probably be more of a constant. Human without problems dies a mental death. We just instantly just die. Would you die, or do you just reach like enlightenment for having zero problems? You just like transcend the physical form. You become greater than the sum of your parts. Maybe the problems are just holding us back from, like Buddha, yeah. Like we just ascend. Yeah, that is a death in a way, for sure. But it is something more than death. Greater than? I don't know. I'm getting very philosophical now. Good luck at that. Just Doctor Who Eternals have everything. Can do anything without being compelled to do it. Huh, I haven't watched a lot of Doctor Who. Hey Desmo25, hope you're doing well. Oh, 4 a.m. Oh yeah, 'cause you're in Japan. Right, right. That, yeah. It's that 4 a.m. is the typical philosophy time. But yeah. Thanks for popping by, Desmo. Just doing study stream here. Not super interesting or anything. Just place for people to work on stuff that they have to do. But yeah. Oh yeah, but serious, you're in Japan. How is that? Because you moved recently. I remember. I think. The diet change was very hard to adjust to. Got depressed very quickly until I got a multivitamin. After that, things are swinging back. Oh, I hadn't even considered stuff like diet or anything. Huh, that's interesting. I was just thinking like time zones and all that would be difficult to adjust, but like, yeah, I had not put as much thought into that, clearly. But yeah, I mean, happy that, They're swinging back from being depressed, because I know that's not fun. American food is loaded with fats and sugars. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that, yeah, from experience. Lost like 15 pounds just moving here. Oh, that's a lot, yeah. That, yeah, I don't think I can afford to lose like 15 pounds. They don't have French fries. I feel like everywhere has French fries. No, like maybe it's just because I mainly visit like Europe and like stuff. Yeah, depression sucks though. I've been on the tail end of like depression for a while and still have on like medication and stuff for it, and it is still rough. Uh, and it is partly why I have so damn much to do in all my courses. Nearest Wendy's is an hour. Oh, that is pain. That is true human suffering right there. Those are the real problems that people are suffering. Any radical changes to the body will cause chemical imbalances. Best to slowly work yourself into changes so it doesn't affect yourself too much there. Makes sense. I wonder how it would affect, like, if you're on vacation and stuff into a place with such, like, a radical departure of diet. Because I know my family, like, my parents and my sister and stuff, are currently on vacation in Japan right now. Like, literally as we speak. So, I'm curious. I'll have to ask them how they've been finding, like, the food and all that stuff. Because, you know, I'm sure it is a departure from what we're used to in Canada and all that stuff. But yeah, I'll have to ask him a different time because it is, you know, 4 a.m. Well, vacation's probably fine, kind of expect the change, but for you, it's your new normal. Yeah, that's fair. I was just curious after whether, like, the time frame would be enough that it would, like, start to change, or, like, it's so short, if it's, like, a week or so, that it wouldn't be significant. But if, you know, if it, like, you're staying there permanently, it would obviously, like, affect you. It causes lack of sleep and maybe first have some dietary problems happen to me when I went from California to Mexico. Had the shite for a while and upset tummy. Diet is such a hard variable to account for. Yeah. I mean, it certainly does seem that way from like an outside, non-like scientific perspective of like no one seems to really understand what's the best way to do diets and all that stuff. At least, like, yeah, like from my perspective as someone who like knows pretty much nothing, I just eat what I eat and hope it works out. Oh, awesome. This document is actually not that long as I thought it was gonna be. Because it's like translated in 3 languages, so it was actually pretty small. That is very nice. Very happy about that. Yeah, I was worried it was like 9, like 10 pages or something, but it's actually, I'm working on a document, analyzing a document of, well, the document is the Memorandum on Security Assurances in connection with Ukraine's accession to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. Basically, what like three of the big countries, Russia, UK, and US, have to say on Ukraine becoming a non-nuclear weapon state and signing the treaty on that in 1994. So it's a pretty, it's not like a recent document or anything, but it's still, I gotta study it. But it's actually, yeah, I thought it was gonna be like 12 pages or whatever, but it's actually only about like 4, which is nice. Not recent, but very relevant. Which, if I had to guess, is probably why they would have chose it. I mean, yeah, the first part of it is a confirmation of that the countries mentioned would respect the independence and sovereignty and the existing borders of Ukraine. So, that, not to get too political, but, that is, of course, particularly relevant at the moment. Sudden changes in your environment can cause mental stress, thus acclimatization takes a while. Humans in general are adaptable, which is not an easy transition. Yeah, I mean, I think even in my experience as someone who doesn't, like, move around too much, but, like, does not handle change very well, that, like, I can kind of attest to that, where, like, just changes and stuff and, like, environment, routine, all that kind of stuff can be difficult to acclimatize to. Though obviously environment being like a more significant or substantial one. What time is it for me? It's like 3:30. So it's like early mid-afternoon. Yeah, I should be 13 hours behind you. Time is weird in the land of the rising sun. Yeah, because you guys are 13 hours ahead, so it's Friday for you, I think. Alright, and yeah, Friday 4:30. Yeah. I still have an whole like evening and the rest of the afternoon to get through before it's Friday. Yeah, it doesn't really feel like a Thursday. To be honest, it kind of feels like a Monday. But it's nice knowing the week will kind of be over relatively soon-ish. Still have a lot of adjusting too. Yeah, is there like a general time frame that people have found it takes to adjust there? Or is it like just months? Or like some just indeterminate period of time? 2 weeks to new job start. I mean, that might help with like getting into a proper routine and like adjusting through there. I don't know, though. I've never really moved anywhere, much less like somewhere where there's such a substantial difference in both like time, diet and everything. No idea, working off of knowing nothing. I mean, that's what I usually do, and it hasn't failed me so far much. So, hopefully it has the same amount of success or better success to you. Oh, speak the language. Oh, that's nice. I was gonna ask about that, about the like whether you knew the language. 'Cause I know obviously that would be a substantial adjustment and stuff if you didn't. starting a new job next month. Oh, congrats. Nice. I've got to start looking for a job for the summer soon. Well, soon as in like a month ago, but you know. No time like next week or the future. Still in college. Yeah, well, life is in front of you. I mean, yeah, but I do need to get a job probably for the summer, especially if I want to like buy stuff. It's exciting. Answer, yep, that pretty much sums up college right there. Exciting and stressful. What a fun combination. Russian Federation, the United Kingdom of Great Britain, Northern Ireland, the United States of America reaffirm in the case of Ukraine their commitment not to use any nuclear weapons against any non-nuclear weapon state party to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. Except in the case of themselves, their territories are dependent territories, their armed forces, allies, special state association, or alliance with the weapon state. That's interesting. So according to the Treaty on Non-Nuclear Proliferation and all that stuff, it seems that nuclear countries technically have free reign to use nuclear weapons on countries that have not signed the treaty. Gonna try and transfer to a 4-year college for art history degree. Nice, nice. Good luck with that. Yeah, I'm here for probably another 4 years. I mean, yeah, good luck to us. Ukraine, yeah, Ukraine, technically according to this, Ukraine's fine because Ukraine's a signature of the treaty. So I think it's, who's not a signature? Let me search that up. Okay, so India, Israel, Pakistan, South Sudan are not signatures. And I think, oh, and also, North Korea withdrew. So those would be the 5, I guess. South Sudan, I think only because it's so recent, like it, formed in 2011, and Israel, India, and Pakistan are nuclear, so we probably do not want to nuke them, besides the obvious reasons of just nuking people in general are not, that good. Yeah, I did not realize that India, Israel, and Pakistan are not part of the treaty. Someone could wipe out a fraction of the world's population. They want to nuke India. I mean, I think it would. Yeah, I mean, it would wipe out more because they'd fire back. If you have nukes, you can break the rules. I suppose so. Yeah, I mean, the U.S. Has already, they don't agree to the war crime stuff, the rules regarding war crimes. They haven't signed on to that. And I think they have a thing where they can theoretically, there's like the invasion of the Hague law in the U.S., which is kind of funny. Or is the Hague like Invasion Act or something? American Service Members Protection Act. All means necessary and appropriate to bring about the release of any U.S. or allied personnel being detained or imprisoned by, on behalf of, or at the request of the International Criminal Court. So, you know, they can just do whatever they want to prevent U.S. servicemen who are part of the International Criminal, who are like being accused of war crimes and stuff. Which is, you know, so nice that they have that ability. How great. Yeah, US does have a lot of military power, and importantly, they have the ability to project that power because of like the Navy and Air Force and stuff wherever they need to. So it's not just like a concentrated power that's like kind of isolated and stuck on like the American mainland, because they can like ship it around and stuff and have it where they want it to be. Like in, you know, like the North Sea, the Bosporus, South China Sea, and all that. Yeah, they have, and with the military outposts and stations in other countries, that definitely helps as well. And they're just at the moment isn't really. This is gonna get me into a bit of a ramble because stuff is all right up my alley, and I really enjoy talking about it. But yeah, I got time to do that, so sure. Yes, because of like no other country really has that. Particularly, I think because well, at least for there's a historical precedent for the Navy and that kind of stuff being instrumental for this, as you can kind of see if you look into the past with like the Royal Navy, for an extended period of time where they had the ability to project their power wherever they wanted, and now with the U.S. In the rise of aircraft carriers allowing the projection of both naval power and air power wherever you need it, it's kind of like evolved beyond that point. Where now no other country, because no other country really has the navy to um, go toe to toe with the U.S. or even close to that. Uh, the closest probably being China, which is still like more of a coastal fleet, I think, at the moment, though I'm not as familiar with theirs. So no other country has the ability to like project power the same way that the US does at the moment. Which is all just very interesting to see. and learn about, at least to me, as someone who's really interested in like military history and global affairs and all that stuff, and especially naval history. Sorry for the ramble there. Yeah, China has some outposts, and Russia has been, both Russia and China have been on, like, diplomatic, excursions into other countries to curry favor and stuff. I think fairly successfully, because there is a kind of general, turn against America and American foreign policy, as of late. Uh, for who knows why that could be the case. Like, I can't imagine any particular reason why people would be upset in America globally. Please don't arrest me, CIA or anything. We all love America here, and yeah, but it is evident that America's time in the sun is slowly degrading. Not as a lack of like their military or power or anything, it's just more like their position in the world standing is not as significant as it was, because they have become more like isolationist, and well, they've also just had more internal issues that they've had to deal with. The Chloe alphabet. I mean, yeah. I just gotta always be very slightly cautious, because I'm in the future interested in working as a glowy, technically, in like Canada's like international, like the foreign service, and so like embassies and all that kind of stuff. I think could be interesting, and like that would be my ideal job and stuff. And so, you know, obviously there is a bit of caution and stuff that you gotta have when talking about that kind of thing. So I don't think I've ever, like, you know, said anything to... Yeah, most countries are okay taking American money, but not the strings that come attached to it. Yeah. And also just the way America generally has acted, and to be fair to them, the way that any particularly single country usually acts once it has kind of such a position of dominance over the global order, is not conducive for everyone else liking that country. Like, I am very confident that if you looked at like other countries at the time that they were the global superpower, for example, like you know, the United Kingdom and stuff, when they were at their prime, they would not be well liked by other countries for similar reasons, despite being able to kind of you know, assert their authority over such countries for good and primarily for bad. Yeah. After all, history doesn't repeat itself, but it does come a bit close. There are patterns. Yeah, money definitely does talk, but also another thing is stability talks, and when a country isn't particularly stable, like, it's not gonna have that same level of authority that it would. Like, for example, I would say that U.S. authority after such events as January 6th, you know, obviously don't want to get too into that, but it's definitely degraded since then. because like it's not a good example of we're keeping everything together, we know what's up, like trust us, we're doing all right. If you can't really keep things in order in your own country, what gives you the authority and the are you really, do you know what's best for the rest of the world, is kind of the attitude that it kind of gives. And that's something that I would say is it's likely more seen here in like this era, the modern era, than like if you look back further into like the colonial imperialist. Because at that time more countries were kind of, at least like European colonial powers, were generally dealing with similar issues in their colonies of like, the issues of like uprisings and stuff, and managing those and oppressing the people there. And so there was like kind of like that somewhat shared understanding of the difficulties of doing that amongst them. Whereas here there's like a more variety of issues that can be seen amongst countries, not just like political uprisings, but also like like conflicts as can be seen in like Ukraine, Russia, climate struggles, economic difficulties, and all that stuff. And because there's more variety, there's less like, I guess, understanding and sympathy, I guess, for lack of a better term, for the struggle, those common struggles, which is why there's kind of a greater degradation of opinion of the US now that they've kind of shown that they're not necessarily equipped to handle all the struggles that are being thrown at them. I'm probably gonna have to put a Yab Warning for politics on the stream. Damn. I'm trying to like keep my streams somewhat like apolitical, which is hard because, as like someone studying politics, very interested and like enjoys talking about it and stuff, and finds it like interesting hearing everyone's opinions and stuff. And it's a pretty like easy thing to talk about for me, so I kind of can default to it. But I want to make sure that people are comfortable with it and stuff. And yeah, I'll put a warning up. I think I can do it now while we're streaming. Because capitalism influence, I mean, to a certain extent, I feel like generally, if you were to look at it, I mean, yeah, no, I don't mind talking about politics with people in chat and stuff, so I don't want to like come off that like, and I don't like, generally, yeah, I don't mind that. I just want to make sure that I label stuff properly on my streams so that people know what my big concern is people knowing what they're getting into. Because I don't want people to be like jump scared by politics, because people are generally here to, like, people generally join streams to get away from that type of thing. And so I want to make sure that if I am talking about that, I label it properly just so that they're aware and everyone's aware, because that seems only fair. But should be labeled now, which is good. Yeah. So because of capitalist influence, I would say to a certain extent, I mean, capitalism is like basically fully established as the economic system globally, uh, to negative effect, I would argue. Uh, but it also, there hasn't really been a good alternative offered, unfortunately, which is kind of the problem. Like, I feel like, yeah, that's basically my opinion of capitalism. I don't like capitalism, but do I think that anything else has shown itself to be better or just like working? No, not really. No, there just isn't really an alternative yet. And so because of that, I, gotta stick with this, as miserable as that can be. Basically, that's my kind of take on it. Like, if something were to show up that is better, and that like it is like not, it also has to not conceptually be better. It has to kind of prove itself, because like stuff like other like systems of like economic equality and stuff are conceptually like awesome. Like, if you look at like the theoretical stuff of like the very general stuff like socialism, communism stuff, equality and all that stuff, that's great, awesome. It's just that in practice doesn't really equate to that historically, and so I'm a bit hesitant about that kind of thing. But I think it is definitely foolish and completely ridiculous to ignore the negative side effects of capitalism. And I do wish that countries and stuff would do more to kind of alleviate those side effects. Yeah, human nature isn't compatible with theory. Yeah. It's similar to the phrase, no plan survives first contact with the enemy, except in this case, the enemy is just human nature and how people interact. It's tough. Maybe I can fix this. But I mean, I think the problem with AI is that it's just going to be such a ridiculously tough sell to people. Of like the AI control, let the AI control like distribution of resources and stuff. Is gonna be, it's gonna be like a rough to convince people that that's good, because people are like inherently not just distrustful of AI and stuff due to like movies and entertainment, but also people are inherently suspicious of what they don't understand and distrustful of what they don't understand. And so because people just don't really understand AI that well, myself included, people are going to be inherently distrustful of letting it do such impactful steps. And then that's not even mentioning like the effect it has on like the economy for people who would have those jobs and all that stuff. But it is interesting, and I do hope that it is a good way forward. But I don't know. I mean, I think that I would be inherently a bit suspicious of it, to be perfectly honest, and a bit concerned, especially in society where we've kind of seen people are particularly gung-ho when there's like a kind of Wild West situation of innovation, where they don't really care about the only like about the impact on people, and it's very profit driven, which I think is not ideal. For conducive, like it's not conducive for social benefits for people, because if it's like very profit driven, they don't really care about like the little guy. They care about the people who can give them the most money and all that. Oh, AI governments, so AI algorithms are definitely not like at that point of efficient economic systems or governmental systems yet. Uh, and it would be interesting to see uh, how far they get in that, because such systems are very precarious, as have been shown time and time again. So I don't know how, like I don't know how much people would trust like a single AI or just an AI algorithm to have control over those. Though it's not like humans are much better. 5 a.m. gonna jump. See you, Tem. Hope you're able to get some sleep and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, there's the distrust and stuff. Like, I don't, like, for an economic system, we've kind of seen how precarious those would be time and time again with, like, banking and all that stuff. Recently with, like, the Silicon Valley Bank, and then 2008 financial crisis, uh, and then, like, Great Depression and all that stuff. So it's, like, already inherently a very precarious area. And so with an AI and stuff, where we're like, I don't know, we haven't really ironed out a lot of the difficulties and problems, it would be definitely concerning, at least to me, someone not as familiar with the field, about letting that have control. And plus, for governmental systems, I think people would be extra opposed to that, particularly in areas such as like America and stuff, where it's very the concepts of individual freedom are very like strongly believed in, because those people are obviously not going to want to have an AI be the one in charge of like their governmental systems and stuff. And I mean, it obviously depends how much control and what areas the AI has influence over, but yeah, it's definitely going to be, I think, a slower process than like AI art and that kind of thing, and how like AI is kind of taking leaps and bounds there, because people are going to be in fight a lot more against AI in like economic and governmental systems than in art. Alright, I know we've only really had like an hour of stream and stuff, but this was mainly to be as a test for like a study stream and a more like Zatsudan and uh like just chatting and stuff type thing. So I think I'll probably uh call it here, uh and then this will probably be a more recurring thing in the future, like a more consistent schedule thing of like a study slash just chatting type stream. I did get some studying done, remember Thax. Uh, I'm gonna grab breakfast after this, and then I'm gonna get back to doing a bit more studying. Good luck in everyone's work, and thank you all for tuning in. And yeah, this will definitely be a hopefully more consistent like once every week, once every 2 weeks type thing. Because I think it's like a fun way to interact and in a more chill environment, and it fits fairly nicely with the schedule, which is great. But yeah, thank you all for coming in, and happy time zone to all of you.